Now I want to tell all of you here that I have never been in Rwanda. I have there's now no Bunyarwanda-ship in my line of descent. But that would not be bad if I was in Rwanda. It would not matter. But the point of the fact is that I'm not. That's just a point of fact.
Welcome back once again to OwanaPaedia as we continue with our series of President Yoweri Museveni's 3-day state visit to Rwanda around the middle of 1986, a few months after he had come to power. One of the issues why he visited Rwanda was to allay those fears that were circulating to the effect that the Tutsi refugees who had joined the National Resistance Army would use Uganda as a launch pad to attack Rwanda. Well, they eventually used it as a launchpad to attack Rwanda. The president, who had no such intention, went to great lengths to assure President Habyarimana that that would not happen. Now, when he arrived, he was welcomed by a banner which says, "Uganda and Rwanda are brothers forever." And that is one thing which OwanaPaedia has been emphasizing. That's why we ask you repeatedly not to embroil us in the opinions you have today about Museveni and Kagame. Because Museveni and Kagame are just citizens of Uganda and Rwanda. They are not those countries. And at one time, they will not be the ones in charge. So when we bring you this history, we are not asking you to vote between either this one or that one. That's why, although I have very strong opinions about certain leaders, I try to keep it off OwanaPaedia so that we share this history in order to make informed choices. So in this one, again, Venice Omona, the veteran of broadcasting here and the Presidential Press Unit, which was at the time headed by Hope Chivenjere, were with the President, and accompanying the President was Regional Corporation Minister John Sebanda Kizito, now the late, and his counterpart in Constitution Affairs, Sam Kaliganjuba, also now the late. Let's go back to that history, and you will like what you will see.
In front of Butare Stadium, President Yoweri Museveni is being introduced to government and party officials before entering the stadium to address a rally. He's accompanied by his host, President Juvenal Habyarimana. Stadium fully packed by Rwandese who have come to welcome President Museveni in this southern town of Rwanda. President, accompanied by his host, Major General Juvenal Habyarimana, acknowledge rousing welcome at the stadium by the citizens of Rwanda. President Habyarimana has come on the dais to greet the people who have packed the stadium in Butare completely.
Abanyarwanda muraho. Murakomeye cyane. President Habyarimana, first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me to Rwanda and for making it possible for me to observe the great enthusiasm of the people of Rwanda and their desire to have friendship with the people of Uganda. I don't want to make a long speech. My purpose is just to greet the people, but I would like to make just a few observations. The first point I would like to make is the point I made last night, and that is to emphasize the oneness of the people, of the peoples of this area, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Zaire, and even further afield. I've just been listening to the explanation at the Center for Research in Traditional Medicine, and I've just been looking at the names of the plants there. Half of the names there are the same names as we use in Western Uganda, in Ankole, for instance, or Kigezi, or Toro, and so on and so forth. There is, for instance, what you call Rweziringa. We also call it Rweziringa. There is what you call Omravumba. For us, we call it Omravunga. There is what you call Ombirizi. We also call it Ombirizi. Now, what other? The other time, last night, I used the word called Waringa. Waringa. And everybody in the audience knew it, what Waringa is. Waringa is... Numanya Waringa? Numujimanya? But this was because he didn't have any other politics in his head. His head was to say, go to Ankole and conquer it and control it. But if he had known that it was easier to cooperate without conquest, he would have opted for that. And for us, we are not like Rwanda today. We are more informed. We can cooperate. We can unite, utilizing our oneness without fighting among ourselves. So let's ensure that we cooperate among African countries. Now, coming to our philosophy of self-reliance, I could give you a Kinyankore proverb which says, "Egabo ya cheri tojera mwana mbazi," which is to say, you should never give a laxative to a child, hoping that you will get some tea, some chai, to relieve him in case he's bad off from your neighbor's place.
Now, you can work with the political Haza, Jambo, Bagiro, Mugani, Yamore, President Yamore, Pazabano, Omganu Kauka, Pegua, Muti, Mana, Mana, to Pibiakul, Sudapona, and which is that if you would say now, it's a Jimtrivan from Turay.
Now, that's why we want to rely on our own efforts, because we don't want to give what you call omuti to our child, and then the child is bad off, and then you go to your neighbor's place to get tea and he doesn't have it and your child dies. Finally, I would like to make 2 points. When Obote was in power, he used to make a lot of propaganda saying that I was a Munyarwanda, I came from here, and I don't know what, I went to Uganda. Now I want to tell all of you here that I have never been a Munyarwanda. I have, there's now no Munyarwandaship in my line of descent. But that would not be bad if I was a Munyarwanda, it would not matter. But the point of the fact is that I'm not. That's just a point of fact. Now, finally, recently there have been a lot of rumors circulated by people who are ignorant politically that the refugees of Rwanda in Uganda will use Rwanda as a base to come and attack, will use Uganda as a base to come and attack Rwanda.
hanyuma cyanyuma ryaho nangirizeho nuko uba hangaha hari abantu bajya bakunda kuvuga abantu b'ibicucu muri politiki bagiye bavuga ko impunzi z'abanyarwanda ziri mu Uganda zaba zitegura gutera u Rwanda.
This is not possible, and it will not happen, and I like to assure all the people here that it will not happen at all.
Ibyo rero ntabwo bishoboka kandi nagira ngo babwire mwese ko muri aha ngaha ko ibyo bintu bitazigera bibaho.
First of all, there is no reason why we should do that. There is absolutely no reason why. What advantage do we have in it? For instance, Sudan recently allowed the former soldiers of the Uganda army to attack Uganda from Sudan. We defeated them, but we did not go on to attack Sudan. What we mind about is to preserve our border. That's our interest.
Sudan yaretse abari abasirikari b'ubutegetsi bavuye mu Uganda irabareka baradutera turabanisha baragenda ntabwo twize tujya gutera Sudan kuko twebwe tureba ni ukurinda ubutaka bwacu.
Now, if we cannot attack Sudan, which allowed enemies of Uganda to attack us from there, why should we attack Rwanda? What has it done against us?
None rero niba tutatera Sudan ishyikira abanzi bacu Rwanda twarutera turushagaho iki?
For us, we would only quarrel with he who quarrels with us. And even then, we would not use force unless it was a method of last resort. So there is no reason at all. There is no political reason. There is no strategic reason. There is no ideological reason why we should back the refugees of Rwanda to come and disturb of Rwanda in Uganda to come and disturb Rwanda. The Banyarwanda are in Uganda as refugees. Some of them are immigrants who came long ago. Abafuriki. You have it in Kinyarwanda?
Abimukira.
Some Banyarwanda are citizens of Uganda because some Banyarwanda are part of Uganda. So therefore, those who came as refugees, if they want to stay in Uganda, they'll have to stay there as refugees. But if you want to get them back, you can come and call them and they come back here. If you can't have them back, they will stay in Uganda until we find another solution for them. So there is no problem at all on that issue. So again, I would like to thank President Habyarimana for inviting me and giving me a chance to say hello to you. Jane.
On the 2nd of October 1990, Major General Fred Gisa Rwigema, whose service number in the National Resistance Army was number 15, and who had been Deputy Minister of Defense as well as Deputy Army Commander, led several other top NRA officers of Rwandese origin, and they went back home. They attacked Rwanda, to the great embarrassment of President Yoweri Museveni, who was at that time on a visit to the United States of America with President Habyarimana. Both of them had to leave that conference in a hurry. I think Habyarimana went to Belgium to seek military aid, while Museveni rushed here to do some damage control. A lot of theories have been advanced that Museveni was part of the scheme, but history will absolve him one day because he made efforts to repeatedly inform President Habyarimana that he had a refugee problem in Uganda. On one occasion, when we were going to get formal ranks in the National Resistance Army, President Museveni specifically invited President Habyarimana to be the chief guest. And Habyarimana was present when Fred Gisa Rwigema was made Major General of the NRA, giving him the same rank which President Habyarimana also held in the Rwanda army. And earlier on, around the 6th of February 1988, President Museveni had taken President Habyarimana on a tour of the battle zones of Luwero and Nakasege. He showed him how many Banyarwanda were there, trying to show him that you have a number of people who are here, who are anxious to go back to their country. However, do you know what Habyarimana would do whenever he was told about the dangers of the refugee problem he was facing? He would say that Rwanda was full up. And probably it was full up because Rwanda was having a population of 600 people per square mile. In Uganda, we are still about 25-30 per square mile. In Rwanda, it was 600 people per square mile. And that's one of the reasons why, when they had their genocide, it was very easy to kill people. If you can have 600 people in a square mile, you don't have to go to the neighborhood to find people to kill. So, to demonstrate that Rwanda was full up, Habyarimana would always get hold of some water and pour it in a glass, like I'm going to do. That's what President Habyarimana had in mind when he made that demonstration, that Rwanda was full up to the extent that any additional would overflow. I have a suspicion that this is the notion the Interahamwe had when they were reducing the population of some of their own people during that 100-day genocide. They had to get rid of the overflow physically. My main lesson today, or my main lesson throughout this series on President Museveni's visit to Rwanda, is that President Museveni went out on a limb to assure President Habyarimana that no harm would befall him from Uganda. But he also didn't insist that refugees of Rwandese origin would never go back home. Indeed, one time when he was angry, he said, Uganda is not a huge prison where we keep people who want to go back to their homes by force. That's when the whole world was attacking him for assisting the invasion. Well, in a nutshell, and let me say this as carefully as I can, after all that, you find it amazing that the leadership of Rwanda thinks of President Yoweri Museveni as the enemy. OwanaPaedia thanks you for being part of this, and we assure you that our country are brothers, whatever the opinions of leaders, present, past, or future. This is not the end of the series, like I've said. Stay tuned to OwanaPaedia, the one-stop center for Uganda's history, and you won't go wrong.